My phone buzzed at 9:47 p.m. while I nursed my third beer on the couch. Sarah's text lit up the screen. "Having a great time with the girls." The photo showed her laughing in what looked like an upscale hotel bar. Karen and Lisa flanked her, all three holding martinis. But something caught my eye immediately. A man's hairy knuckles resting on Sarah's shoulder, complete with a chunky gold watch I'd never seen before. Funny, I muttered to myself. I don't remember Karen growing arm hair. I zoomed in on the photo. In the mirror behind them, I could make out part of a man's grinning face. My stomach dropped like an elevator with cut cables. 23 years of marriage, and this is how it ends? With a badly cropped photo and a lie about girls' night? My phone rang. Tommy, my old friend who managed the Black Lantern downtown. "Hey man, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I just saw Sarah at my bar. She's not exactly with just the girls, if you know what I mean." I felt that familiar rage building in my chest, the same one that got me suspended from high school football. "What exactly are you telling me, Tommy?" "She's cozy with some guy in a suit, real cozy. They've been here for 2 hours, and they're not discussing business unless business involves his hand on her thigh." I checked our shared location app. Sure enough, Sarah's little dot pulsed from downtown, not at Karen's house where she claimed to be. "Thanks for the heads up," I said, already grabbing my keys. "Time to say hi to the girls." Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. The Black Lantern was exactly the kind of place Sarah usually avoided. Too trendy, too expensive, too full of what she called pretentious millennials. But there she was, tucked into a corner booth with a man I didn't recognize. He was everything I wasn't. Perfectly styled hair, expensive suit, manicured nails wrapped around a whiskey glass. The gold watch from the photo glinted under the ambient lighting as he leaned closer to my wife. I slid into the booth directly behind them, close enough to hear Sarah's fake laugh, the one she used at company parties when she wanted something. "So, when do I get to see your place?" she was saying. "Whenever you want," he replied. "My wife's out of town until Thursday." His wife. Perfect. I snapped a photo of them through the booth's gap, then texted Sarah. "How's your night going? Having fun with the girls?" Her phone buzzed on the table. She glanced at it and typed back, "Yeah, girls' night is the best, just talking about life. You know how it is." I replied immediately with the photo I'd just taken. "So, is this photo worth a divorce?" I watched her face go white as she stared at her screen. Her companion noticed her expression change. "Everything okay?" Sarah's head whipped around, scanning the bar until her eyes met mine. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then I stood up, walked to their table, and sat down across from them. "Evening, honey. Mind if I join you and the girls?" The man looked confused, glancing between Sarah and me. "I'm sorry, do we know each other?" "Not yet," I said, extending my hand. "I'm Sarah's husband, the one she forgot to mention, apparently." His face went from confusion to terror in record time. "Oh God, I had no idea." "Sure you didn't," I cut him off. "That's why you were discussing your empty house and making plans." Sarah finally found her voice. "David, this isn't what it looks like." "Really? Because it looks like my wife of 23 years is on a date with a married man while lying to me about girls' night." I signaled the bartender. "3 whiskeys, please. We're celebrating." "Celebrating what?" the man stammered. "The end of my marriage and your wife finding out about this." I raised my glass when the drinks arrived. "To honesty and the people who pretend to have it." I downed the whiskey, stood up, and accidentally knocked over my glass. The amber liquid splashed across the man's expensive suit and into his lap. "Oops," I said. "How clumsy of me." As I walked toward the exit, I heard Sarah calling my name, but I didn't turn around. Outside, I found his BMW parked in the valet area. Using my house key, I carved "Home Wrecker" into the driver's side door, then left a note under his windshield wiper. "Next time, bring your own wife." Driving home, I couldn't stop the bitter laugh that escaped my throat. I always wondered what it would feel like to be the villain in someone else's story. Turns out it fits perfectly. Sarah didn't come home that night, or the next. When she finally showed up on Wednesday to pack a bag, she acted like I was the problem. "You embarrassed me in front of everyone," she said, stuffing clothes into her suitcase. "Kevin thought you were going to hit him." Kevin? That's his name? And here I was calling him the home wrecker. I leaned against the door frame, watching her pack. "Did you tell Kevin about our daughter, our house, our entire life together? It wasn't supposed to happen like this." "How was it supposed to happen? Were you planning to ask for a divorce before or after you started sleeping with married men?" She spun around, eyes flashing. "We haven't slept together." "Yet. That was the plan for Thursday when his wife's out of town, right?" The guilty look on her face told me everything. She zipped up the suitcase and headed for the door. "I'm staying at Kevin's until I figure things out. Give my regards to his wife when she gets back." After Sarah left, the phone calls started. First, her sister Jennifer, screaming at me for driving Sarah away. Then her best friend Monica, accusing me of being controlling and jealous. By Friday, half our mutual friends had chosen sides, and I wasn't winning. Our daughter Emma called from college, crying, "Dad, what did you do? Mom says you humiliated her in public." "I caught your mother cheating, Emma. What was I supposed to do?" "Handle it like an adult instead of making a scene." Even my own kid was against me. The betrayal cut deeper than Sarah's affair. That weekend, I drove to Kevin's apartment complex. His BMW sat in the parking lot, my handiwork still visible despite an obvious attempt to buff out the scratches. I waited until he came out to get his mail. "We need to talk," I said, stepping out of my truck. Kevin looked terrified. "Look, I don't want any trouble." "Then you shouldn't have started any." I walked closer, and he backed against his car. "Did you know she was married when you started this?" "She said you were separated." "We live in the same house, sleep in the same bed. Until last week, anyway." I grabbed his shirt and pulled him close. "You destroyed my family based on a lie. I'm sorry, okay? I'll end it. I'll tell her we can't see each other anymore." I let go of his shirt and stepped back. Too late for that. I pulled out my phone and showed him a video I'd recorded. "Smile, Kevin. You're about to be famous." I'd edited together footage from the bar, photos of his car, screenshots of Sarah's lies, and his admission that he knew she was married. Within an hour, it was posted on every social media platform I could find. By Monday morning, Kevin's wife had seen it. So had his boss, his neighbors, and half the town. His marriage was over, and his reputation was in ruins. But I wasn't done yet. The anonymous text arrived Tuesday morning. "You think you know everything? You have no idea." I stared at the message, trying to figure out who sent it. The number was blocked, but something about the tone felt familiar. Tommy called an hour later. "Dude, you need to hear this. Monica was in here last night, drunk off her ass, talking about how she finally got revenge on that bastard David." Monica. Sarah's best friend since college. The one who'd been so quick to call me controlling and jealous. What kind of revenge? She was bragging about setting up Sarah and Kevin. Said she introduced them at some networking event 6 months ago, kept pushing them together. She was laughing about how easy it was to manipulate Sarah into the affair. The pieces clicked into place. Monica had always hated me, ever since I'd gotten her fired from my company 15 years ago for stealing office supplies. She'd held that grudge all these years, waiting for the perfect opportunity. I spent the next week digging into Monica's life. Her wellness studio was struggling financially, her marriage was rocky, her social media was full of passive-aggressive posts about karma and getting even with people who wronged you. But the real evidence came from Sarah's phone records, which I still had access to through our family plan. Hundreds of texts between Sarah and Monica over the past 6 months, with Monica constantly encouraging Sarah to live her life and stop settling for less. Monica had orchestrated the entire affair. Friday night, Monica was hosting one of her wellness retreats at the community center. Finding your truth through authentic living, according to the flyers. The irony was perfect. I showed up with a portable speaker and my phone full of evidence. About 30 women were sitting in a circle, listening to Monica lecture about honesty and authenticity. "Sorry to interrupt," I said, walking into the center of the circle, "but I thought you'd all like to hear some authentic truth." I pressed play on the first recording, Monica's drunk confession from Tommy's bar, where she bragged about destroying my marriage for revenge. The room went silent. Monica's face turned white. You can't just... I played the next recording, phone calls I'd secretly made to Monica over the past week, where she'd admitted to introducing Sarah and Kevin, encouraging their relationship, and lying to both of them about what the other wanted. "Monica," one of the women said, standing up, "is this true? Did you really manipulate Sarah into having an affair?" "You don't understand," Monica stammered. "He ruined my career. He deserved... You destroyed a 23-year marriage for revenge?" Another woman stood up. "That's sick." Within minutes, the entire group had turned against Monica. Women were demanding refunds, canceling future sessions, posting negative reviews on their phones in real time. Her business collapsed in less than an hour. But I still wasn't finished. Sarah's boss, Patricia, had always been a stickler for company image. When I sent her the video evidence of Sarah's affair, along with proof that Sarah had been using company time and resources to meet Kevin, Patricia's response was swift. Sarah was fired Monday morning for conduct unbecoming of a company representative. By Tuesday, Sarah was calling me, sobbing. "You've destroyed everything, my job, my friends, my reputation. Are you happy now?" "I'm getting there," I said, "but we're not done yet. What more do you want? I've lost everything." "You still have Kevin. How's that working out now that his wife took half his assets and his company fired him for the scandal?" The silence on the other end told me Kevin was already out of the picture. Wednesday night, I got a call from Emma, but this time she wasn't crying or yelling. "Dad, I need to tell you something. Monica called me 6 months ago. She said she had photos of you cheating, and if I didn't help convince Mom to live her life, she'd show them to everyone." My blood ran cold. Photos of me cheating? "Emma, I know that now. I found out she faked them using some app, but I was scared and stupid, and I kept pushing Mom to go out more, meet new people, be independent. I thought I was protecting you, but I was helping Monica destroy our family." Everything clicked into place. Monica hadn't just manipulated Sarah. She'd manipulated our daughter, too. "Where's your mother now?" "At Monica's house. They're planning to leave town together, start over somewhere new." I hung up and drove straight to Monica's house. Both their cars were in the driveway. Through the living room window, I could see them packing boxes and suitcases. I called Tommy. "Remember that favor you owe me? I need it tonight." An hour later, I was standing on Monica's front porch with a court-ordered eviction notice. Tommy's brother was a process server. A camera crew from the local news, Tommy's girlfriend was a reporter, and about 20 neighbors who'd gotten very interested in the drama. I rang the doorbell. Monica opened the door and froze when she saw the crowd. "What is this?" "This is the truth coming home to roost," I said. "Sarah, you might want to come hear this." Sarah appeared behind Monica, looking confused and scared. I held up my phone and pressed play, the recording of Emma's confession about Monica's blackmail and fake photos. "You blackmailed my daughter," I said loud enough for everyone to hear. "You faked evidence of me cheating to manipulate a 19-year-old kid into helping you destroy her parents' marriage," the crowd murmured angrily. Several people started recording with their phones. "That's not… I never…" Monica stammered. "I have the photos you created, Monica. I have the metadata showing when and how you made them. I have Emma's testimony about your threats." I looked at Sarah. "She didn't just introduce you to Kevin. She orchestrated your entire affair as revenge against me." Sarah's face went through a series of emotions: confusion, realization, horror, and finally rage. She turned to Monica. "You used me? You destroyed my marriage just to get back at David? Sarah, you don't understand." "I understand perfectly." Sarah's voice was ice cold. "You manipulated my daughter. You lied to me. You ruined my life for your petty revenge." The confrontation that followed was everything I'd hoped for. Sarah screaming at Monica, Monica trying to justify her actions, the crowd growing larger and more hostile, the local news reporter getting it all on camera. By the time the police arrived to restore order, Monica's reputation was completely destroyed. The video went viral by morning. She was forced to leave town within a week. Sarah came home that night, broken and apologetic, but it was too late for apologies. "I want a divorce," I told her. "Not because of the affair, because you chose to believe Monica over me. You chose to trust a woman who blackmailed our daughter rather than talk to your husband of 23 years. David, please. We can work through this." "No," I said. "We can't. Some things can't be fixed." Emma came home from college the next day. She hugged me and cried, apologizing over and over for her part in Monica's scheme. "You were 19 and scared," I told her. "Monica was a 45-year-old woman who manipulated a teenager to destroy a family. There's a difference." The divorce was finalized 3 months later. Sarah got half the assets, but her reputation never recovered. Kevin moved to another state. Monica disappeared entirely. I kept the house, got joint custody of Emma, and started dating a nice woman I met at Tommy's bar. A woman who thought honesty was more important than revenge. Sometimes people ask me if I regret how I handled the situation, if I think I went too far. I tell them the truth. I didn't destroy my marriage. I just made sure everyone knew who did.